Welcome to Shift. I'm Elliot Reed, and I am so glad you've decided to hang out with me for a bit. This is the place where we take those handy little keyboard shortcuts we use every day at our desks and turn them into metaphors for how to live a little better, breathe a little easier, and grow without the self-help headache. Let's be real for a second. Have you ever opened a document, maybe a giant PDF or a massive spreadsheet, and you're looking for just one specific word? You're scrolling, your eyes are glazing over, you're getting frustrated because everything looks like a blur of black and white text. You're scanning, but you aren't finding. Then you remember, Ctrl plus F. Boop! The search bar pops up. You type in the word, and suddenly the screen jumps right to it. It's highlighted in neon yellow. There it is. It was there the whole time, you just couldn't see it because of the clutter. Today we're talking about Ctrl plus F as a shortcut for mindfulness in the mundane. Because let's face it, most of our lives aren't spent on mountaintops or at award ceremonies. Most of our lives are spent in the unformatted text of daily chores, emails, and repetitive tasks. And if we don't know how to hit Ctrl plus F, we spend our whole lives scanning for the good parts and missing the actual story. So let's do the quick tech breakdown. Literally, Ctrl plus F is the find command. It's a navigation tool. It doesn't change the text, it doesn't delete anything or add anything new. It simply brings your focus to exactly what you're looking for amidst a sea of information. It's about filtering through the noise to find the signal. In life, we do a lot of scanned living. We're physically present, but our minds are scrolling through the to-do list of tomorrow or the should-have-dones of yesterday. We're looking for happiness in the big hits, the vacation, the promotion, the weekend. But Ctrl plus F in life is the ability to stop the scroll and find the highlight in the current moment, even if that moment is just washing a sticky peanut butter jar. It's about realizing that mindfulness isn't something you go away to do, like a retreat. It's something you find right where you are. Think about your morning. For me, mornings with Lucy and Clara, that's my 3-year-old and 5-year-old, are basically a marathon in a hurricane. I'm usually scanning. I'm scanning for the shoes, I'm scanning for the car keys, I'm scanning the clock to see if we're late for preschool. Last Tuesday, I was in full scanning mode. Clara was telling me this incredibly long, rambling story about a rock she found at school, and Lucy was trying to show me her dance, which was mostly just her spinning until she fell over. And I was humming while checking my email on my phone and trying to find a matching pair of socks for Lucy. I was there, but I wasn't finding anything. I was just processing data. Then I caught myself. I literally thought, Elliot, hit Ctrl plus F. I put the phone down, I typed Clara into my mental search bar. I looked at her. I actually heard the part of the story where the rock was named Barnaby. I laughed. Suddenly, the chaos didn't feel like a chore, it felt like a scene. We often think we can't be mindful because our lives are too busy. I'll be mindful when the kids are older, or I'll be mindful when this project is over. But Ctrl plus F doesn't wait for a shorter document. It works because the document is long and messy. You don't need a quiet room to be mindful, you just need to pick a target for your attention. There's this psychological trap called arrival fallacy. It's the when-then mindset. When I get that raise, then I'll be happy. When I lose 10 pounds, then I'll feel confident. In tech terms, it's like scrolling to the bottom of a 500-page document because you think the only important information is in the footer. But what if the find result you need is on page 12 or page 84? I remember when I was a freelance tech writer, I was obsessed with getting this one specific contract with a major tech blog. I thought, once I land that, I've made it. I spent months scanning over my current clients, treating them like stepping stones. I was rushed, I was irritable, and I was bored. I finally got the contract, and you know what? Within 3 days, I was scanning for the next thing. Mindfulness via Ctrl plus F is the antidote to the when-then trap. It forces you to ask, What can I find right now that is worth my attention? Maybe it's the way the light is hitting your coffee mug. Maybe it's the weirdly satisfying sound of a mechanical keyboard. I know, I'm a nerd, but those clicks are therapeutic. When you find the present, you stop the frantic scroll toward a future that doesn't exist yet. Let's talk about the mundane part, the dishes, the laundry, the commute, the stuff we usually try to zone out during. We put on podcasts, ironic, I know, or music just to get away from the task. But what happens if we use the task as our Ctrl plus F search term? There's a great study from Florida State University where they had people wash dishes. One group was told to just get it done. The other group was told to be mindful, to focus on the smell of the soap, the temperature of the water, the feel of the plates. The mindful dishwashers reported a 27% decrease in nervousness and a 25% increase in mental inspiration just from washing dishes. When we try to escape the mundane, we actually fragment our brains. We're physically in the kitchen, but our minds are in a fight we had 3 years ago or a meeting we have 3 hours. That split focus is exhausting. I started doing this with the toddler bath time ritual. Usually, bath time is a soggy battleground, but I started using it as my find moment. I focus on the sound of the splashing, the smell of the bubble bath, the way Lucy's hair looks like a little mohawk when it's wet. When I find those details, the task stops being a task and starts being an experience. It's about quality of attention over quantity of time. You don't need an hour of meditation, you need 60 seconds of finding. Now, sometimes when you hit Ctrl plus F, the search result isn't happy. Sometimes you find stress or sadness or frustration. The beauty of the shortcut is that it doesn't judge the word it finds, it just highlights it. If you're feeling overwhelmed, instead of scanning past it or trying to delete the feeling, hit Ctrl plus F. Type in, "How does my body feel?" Result, tight shoulders. Result, short breaths. Result, clenched jaw. By finding the physical reality of your stress, you take the power away from the narrative in your head. You move from "my life is a disaster" to "my jaw is tight." One is a mountain, the other is just a knot you can breathe into. All right, let's get practical. How do we actually hit Ctrl plus F when life feels like a giant, messy document? Here are 3 simple ways to find mindfulness today. 1. The sensory search. Pick one sense, just one. For the next 2 minutes, whether you're walking to the bus or sitting in a boring meeting, hit Ctrl plus F for sound. What's the furthest sound you can hear? What's the closest? Or hit Ctrl plus F for texture. How does the fabric of your chair feel against your back? This pulls you out of your head and into the room. 2. The transition trigger. Use your transitions as your shortcut keys. Every time you walk through a doorway or every time you start your car, that's your cue to hit Ctrl plus F. Ask yourself, where am I right now? It's a 3-second reset to stop the scanning from the previous task and find the new one. And 3, name the highlight. At the end of a long, boring day, don't just say, "It was fine." Find one specific Ctrl plus F highlight, not a big win, just a detail. The way the steam rose off my soup, or the funny thing the cashier said. By looking for the highlight, you train your brain to stop scanning for the negative. Here's your challenge for the week, if you're up for it. I call it the Mundane Masterpiece Challenge. Pick one chore this week, something you usually hate or zone out during. Maybe it's folding laundry, taking out the trash, or brushing your teeth. For those few minutes, I want you to hit Ctrl plus F. Your search term is sensory details. Don't listen to a podcast, don't plan your day, just find the task. Feel the cold air when you open the trash can. Feel the bristles of the brush. Notice the colors. See if that task feels any different when it's highlighted by your full attention. You might be surprised at what's been hiding in your unorganized files all along. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today on Shift. I know your time is valuable, and I'm honored you spent some of it here. If this episode clicked for you, do me a huge favor. Subscribe, leave a review, or send it to that one friend who's always too busy to breathe. It really helps the show grow. Next time, we're hitting the big one. We're talking about Ctrl-Alt-Delete. We'll be diving into how to declutter your mental RAM and what to do when your brain feels like it's about to freeze because you've got too many tabs open. Until then, keep it light, keep it real, and remember, sometimes all you need is a little shift. I'm Elliot Reed. I'll talk to you next week.